I spit the blood that's in my mouth right into his face, which is my signature move. I always do this. It really psychologically messes with the other person that's about to fight you because your saliva is on them. And when there's blood involved, you don't fight the same when you're covered in somebody else's blood. His recruit that I just beat up before that, he comes running outside the house. He got a baseball bat coming at me full speed. He's coming at me full speed with this baseball bat. And I'll never forget the look on his face. It was priceless. What up, y'all? I'm Rob Level, and I'm gonna tell you the craziest story from my life about when police sent a snitch into my trap house before they kicked the door in and raided it. All to get the bank robbers that were living in there with me in Southside Chicago. You're gonna wanna hear this. This is crazy. It's one of my favorite stories to tell people. But first, again, I'm Rob Level, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video because my life story videos like this one are what I'm using to inspire and motivate millions of people. But heads up, because this gets pretty intense, right? So I'm sorry if this brings up any trauma for you as it does for me, okay? Do not try this at home. Okay, let's get into it. After a party had happened at the flop house / trap house that I was living in, where everyone was drunk, the police informant was sent into the house, and his job was to get the guys who lived in the house to admit to the bank robbery, because I was living with 2 bank robbers. They had just robbed the bank and somebody tipped them off that they were living there. And obviously, he was recording everything. But here's the thing though, these guys who robbed the bank, they were bound to get caught, okay? I mean, they even called into a radio station on a payphone. They were bragging about how they got away with the robbery to a radio DJ on like a major station. They were just young and stupid, like we all are at some point. I mean, it's pretty exciting to get away without robbing a bank, you know? Anyway, the last time I saw the snitch actually pisses me off when I think about it every so often. I'm mad at him, but I'm more so mad at myself. So let me explain how this happened. I remember me waking up with the snitch reaching over me, but to me, I just thought maybe he was reaching for a light or something because I was sleeping on the couch, like sitting up, and the light was next to me. But when I woke up, my book bag with literally everything I own, including my most valuable item, which was my laptop, was gone. Now, the laptop's all I had in my entire life, all right? But that wasn't the only thing gone. There was a PlayStation gone, Xbox gone, there was weed gone, there was Coke gone. Shit was just gone, okay? Now, first we thought the owner of the house got mad at us for having a party. The owner was really bipolar and sometimes would do stuff like this to mess with us. Like they would take our items and then when they came back, they'd give them back, ha ha ha, right? So that's what we were hoping for. Usually that happened though after we ate their food out of the fridge because they buy a bunch of stuff with their food stamps and then we eat a bunch of their food. I would always get cussed out because I would eat all the pizza puffs, but whatever. I mean, you can't just eat one pizza puff. And if the first one wasn't mine, I'm gonna eat 3 of them. Whatever. I mean, it's delicious. Anyway, they came home from work and they said, I didn't do it. And that's boom. Everybody in the house realized everything all at once. Now's when it really gets crazy. Now, instead of everyone in the house being furious, still feeling hungover and feeling taken advantage of, everyone realized, screw the Xbox, screw the drugs, screw everything else that had been stolen. The laptop that he stole from you, Rob, had all of our music on it. Oh my God. Recorded and mixed for the last few months. And most of them were too lazy to actually fully finish their songs or finish writing verses for songs they had made. So I probably had around 100 songs on that laptop from everybody in the house.
Damn, son.
Stolen. Gone. So instead of being mad at the snitch who stole everything, all of them who had the songs on the computer suddenly directed all their anger and frustration straight towards me for letting him steal the laptop. So pretty much, you can guess what happens next. Within minutes, it went from me defending myself because it clearly wasn't my fault. It went from that to me just reaching my disrespect me one more time and see what happens mode, which we all reach. I just reached it quicker than most people. But by this time, I was already smart enough to not be surrounded by about 7 gang members all mad at me at the same time in the house. So I'd already took it outside. I mean, you know, I didn't have any, I took everything I owned. I didn't even have anything in the house anymore. I also knew that I needed the room to fight if something happened. Fortunately for me, one guy pushed me to that point after I showed I wasn't putting up with it anymore. I said something aggressive to one of them. I never liked his ass anyways. And we had this like inner beef the whole time, but we never like brought it out because it would like escalate to this. Then someone hits me in the back of the head who had recently been recruited into the gang of the guy I didn't like that I just said something to, okay? This dude's a little bitch. All right, I turn around like, what a cute punch, as he is saying, don't talk about my boy like that, you know, trying to earn his respect from him like the corny muff. Look, now this guy had no clue about what I've done and why the whole gang at the house called me hype, okay? Now, this guy was clearly new. He had not seen me fight groups of people. He had not seen the things that I had done while we did drive-bys or did all these other things that we had done at this house, the way that I'd earned the respect, and he had no idea why they called me hype, okay? So unfortunately for him, that instantly backfired when I laid him the fuck out from one punch, and I was on top of him bashing his skull in. Now the guy who had just recruited him, he came and he sucker punched me to get him off, okay? Because he's the guy who was exchanging words with at first. I hop up, I'm laughing. When I get hit, I laugh, by the way. I don't know why. Because I used to laugh when I used to get beat with a belt when I was a kid. because it was like almost like I take the pain and like I have to make it something that's like enjoyable, otherwise it's very painful. I'm screwed up. Anyway, after he sucker punches me, I started laughing and I'm like, as usual, none of you guys can take me one-on-one. So he squares up and I'm bleeding from how hard he hit me. Okay, with the straight boom, like sucker punch, really, as I usually do. I spit the blood that's in my mouth right into his face, which is my signature move. Sure. I always do this. It really psychologically messes with the other person that's about to fight you, because your saliva is on them. And when there's blood involved, you don't fight the same when you're covered in somebody else's blood. So while he was grossed out, realizing that I just done that, I knocked his ass out too. Except he fell right asleep when I hit him because his jaw was open like, oh, spit. Sandman punch, good night. As soon as the other guy hit the ground, his recruit that I had just beat up before that, he comes running outside the house. He got a baseball bat coming at me full speed. Right, I mean, come on, man. He's coming at me full speed with his baseball bat. And I'll never forget the look on his face. It was priceless, because when he saw his boy that recruited him on the ground, I would pay $10,000 right now to have a picture of his face, the reaction when he saw his boy on the ground. Frame it, put it in the picture, put it on my wall. I would pay for that. I pay 10 grand right now. Shit, I'll give you 15 grand. Take it. Give me the picture. Classic. I'd probably smile. I smile every time I looked at it. I just remember that moment forever, man. Memories. At this point, I'm laughing so hard, making fun of how I just beat 2 of them up, okay? And now there's like 7, 8 of them, and one of them still needs to go inside to get a baseball bat to handle me. Then they all start chasing me. Swoop, I'm gone, okay? I straight Spider-Man, jump fences. I'm not about to fight 10 people when I got a baseball. That's how you get killed. But you see how enjoyable? I was laughing so hard. I just beat up 2 guys, and I got sucker punched by both of them. That's why this story is so memorable. Again, like 10 grand if I could get that picture. I wish. Oh, why do I get off so much on this story? I love these stories. I got so many of these stories. They couldn't stay up with me. Anyway, the snitch stole everything that I owned anyway, so I had no reason to go back to that house. And it turned out to be a blessing in disguise anyways, because guess what happened? The next morning at 4 a.m., the house got raided by police, and almost everyone in the house got charged with something. Mostly because most of them had warrants, or most of them were violating parole by being around other felons. The bank robbers got taken into custody, and they got almost 10 years. Quick fun fact though, all the money that the bank robbers stole was stashed with the grandma. And when her grandson got caught and they got almost 10 years, the grandma put a majority of that money from the bank robbery on the snitch's head in the street. He was killed within a month. Damn, son. I still want my laptop back though. Now, if you think this story is crazy, wait till you hear the next one, where I tell you how I caught my first 2 felony charges. There's tons more stories like this below, okay? I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Please share your stories like this below. Maybe somebody else has a great story like this. I'm in the comments. I want to see your stories. What do you think about this story? And if you have a few seconds, please, people are leaving their stories below all these videos that I'm using to motivate and inspire people, to show them what I've been through and how far I've came. So there's going to be stuff below from people, and if you can, go look at their stories, respond to them, give them some of your life advice, share your story. I'm in the comments below. I want people to know that other people do care about their stories. And I want you to know that I care about your story. So if you're struggling with anything in life, write it below. No one's judging you. I'll be in those comments, all right? Lastly, please subscribe and like this video. It'll actually help this story spread more inside of the YouTube algorithm because of how it works. And this way I can get people to this story, show them how all my stories are crazy, and then get them to my other super motivational, inspirational stories. So I really appreciate it if you do subscribe and like. Thanks. Now, if you want to hear more of my crazy stories, I'm going to put links below to all those stories that were part of my life story song. At least look at the titles. You're going to want to watch every single one of them. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a few of the stories that I recommend you watch next on the screen here. And while you check those out, one of my songs that fits the story I just told is gonna play in the background. I'm Rob Level. Follow me, Rob_Level on Instagram. Keep believing in yourself and keep hustling. I'll see you at the top. Seconds later, I get this call. Rob, we gotta get you out of here. We gotta get you out of here. Where are you, man? I'm coming to get you. Stay away from the spot. Just pick them up. They got him right now. I instantly knew what would happen. DEA came and they ripped apart the entire place.
Suicidal.